In this video, we're going to actually draw a bunch of graphs. I would suggest getting out a piece of maybe some paper so that you have this off to the side. The first one says show equilibrium and label P1 and YF. And so we'll just kind of do that over here. And we have over here, we're going to say GDP R. And then up here, we're going to say price levels. And then we've got a downward sloping aggregate demand curve, upward sloping short run aggregate supply, and a vertical line showing LRAS. We've got a YF, full employment, and PL1. Now the next one says show AD increasing, decreasing, show AS increasing, show AS decreasing. We're just going to do two little side-by-sides. And so we've got PL, and we're just going to use the abbreviation Y for these. It's the same as GDPR. And so for this one, whoa, I don't know what happened there. My little screen messed up. AD and AS, and then AD and AS. And so for this one, I'll just do AD increasing. AD1 increase, and we show an increase in price level, and we'd say an increase in output. AD decreasing, AD1, and we've got a decrease in output and a decrease in price. So that kind of shows our general picture here of how AD changes, and then we're going to do the same thing for AS, Y, PL, PL. And again, I'm not including the LRAS here, mostly because it's not entirely necessary just to illustrate the shifts, but you can do so if you wish. AS1 is a decrease. I know that looks like it's going up. It is a vertical up, but it's actually a decrease. And then we've got an increase in AS is to the right. So we'd say AS1. And I know that that's moving kind of down, but that's actually an increase. Price levels go down and output goes up. Remember that to the right is always a increase and to the left is always a decrease. So now we're going to say show a recession and expansion and then show how SRAS self-corrects. And that's going to be really, really important. So I'm going to erase these pictures. So if you needed those, hopefully you pause the video and you could take a look at them. But on these, we're actually going to start in the recession. And I'm going to make it nice and big so you can see. So we're going to start in a recession. Now that means we need an LRAS. If we have a recession, we're comparing it to full employment. And where are we? Well, we're somewhere like over here on this level. We're at Y1. Now that I've put that on there, we'll see if I can actually fix it. If I can get close. SRAS. So it wasn't that close. So I'm going to erase that. Get rid of that. And that's our current level of output. And so this is a recession, right? Our current level is below full employment. And the SRAS curve is going to correct the economy all by itself by shifting to the right. Now, why is it going to do that is something we're going to explain here in a little bit. But we go from point A to point B. Now, this self-correction happens because we were at, we'll say, point Z. So we move from point Z to point A, and then we move from A to B. Now, at Z to A, when we went from point Z to point A, now we've got lower levels of output and lower prices. So Z to A. Decreased output. And when that happens at A, people are willing at A, people, and we'd say workers, are willing to work for decreased wages. After all, some pay is better than no pay. That's the best explanation you can say. So if wages fall, then SRAS increases. And that's because wages are an input to SRAS. Now let's take a look at the problem in reverse. Kind of do this here. Erase these dots from my hand. We're going to draw a recession, Y, PL, or no, an expansion, excuse me. So we've got an LRAS and YF, and then we'd say we've got, well, I don't want to do that. I'm going to have to redraw. You can see that even I make some mistakes in these. It's a lot easier to erase on my chalkboard back at school, but you know, I think some econ is better than no econ. Is that right? I don't know. Not so sure. So we've got SRAS and AD. So our current level of output is way out here, right? Way out there. And let's say we used to be at point Z. Oops, sorry, wrong point. We used to be at point Z down here. And then we went to point A. Maybe aggregate demand increased is the typical explanation here. And so we went from YF to Y1. And then we also increased prices. And from Z to A, Y went up, and PL went up. And we'll put that up here. PL went down for this one. And as the PL rises, people demand higher wages. And in the long run, right, the short run aggregate supply curve is going to shift to the left. We're going to go from A to B. So we're kind of going from Z to A to B. And if wages, and this is the explanation for why SRAS is shifting to the left, if wages go up, we'd say SRAS goes down, decreases. And that's that leftward shift because of the changes in inputs. So the short explanation, right, for why does SRAS shift the economy back to equilibrium, which is probably going to appear on the AP exam, would be because as people adjust to the change in price levels, from moving from equilibrium to the disequilibrium point from Z to A, that higher prices is going to cause them to ask for more wages. And as the wages rise, that's going to change SRAS. So hopefully this helps you with making sense of equilibrium. I'll see you next time.